Okay, folks, today we're going to be writing a friendly letter. Okay, this is a friendly letter to introduce ourselves to a new friend. Okay, and maybe a friend that you already know, but that's all right. Okay, I want to remind you I'm recording, so probably we don't want to be talking. All right, that would be great. The first thing we're going to do is write the date, and you guys can follow along with this part if you want. Okay, you have a choice of two formats. You can write the month, spell it right out, March 2nd. Alright, and it's 2015. I'm still writing 2014 sometimes. I have to be careful. But it's March 2nd, 2015. You can write it like this, or you can choose to write, I'm going to try to write it in a neat place here. 3/2/15. Okay, both of these are great ways to write the date. You don't need to write both of them. You can if you want for practice purposes. Alright, and again, I'm going to suggest that you follow right along with this part for now so that you kind of get the idea. Some of you, when you've written the date in the past, you like write it anywhere you feel like on the page. In fact, the date goes right up here in the right-hand corner. Alright, when we write a friendly letter, the date's going to go right up here in the right-hand corner. Okay, and then we need, after we've written the date, we need an introduction, a greeting to our friend. So we don't know the name of the friend that we're going to write to yet. I mean, I have a list, but you don't know who it is, so I'm going to have you skip a line. Please skip lines because it makes for the reading is much more easy. We're going to say dear, and that's D-E-A-R, dear friend, F-R-I-E-N-D. I would encourage you to follow right along with this piece. Dear friend, and after friend, we put a comma. And look, do you notice how I capitalized dear and I capitalized friend? You want to make sure those things are capitalized because they're very important. They're the beginning of your letter. And actually, this friend here would be somebody's name. Okay, and we capitalize people's names. So I'm going to have you pretend that friend is the name of the friend. Okay? So you have to capitalize the D and capitalize the F. And then please put a comma here. So all of these little marks that we put on the paper, I'm going to ask you to put scissors away because you definitely don't need scissors for this project. Okay? All of these marks on the paper are very important. Alright? So dear friend. Now, I want you to watch for this part. I want you to pay attention for this part. And then you can start writing your letter after I teach you this part. So for the next part of the letter, you're going to basically introduce yourself. Alright? You're going to say, my name. And do you notice how I wrote the my in a little bit on the paper? Remember when we wrote paragraphs? Give me a thumbs up, a thumb sideways, or a thumbs down if you remember paragraphing. Good. So you want to write it in a little bit, like a finger. Alright, a finger's distance. My name is Jessica. Okay, whatever, but your name's not Jessica, so you have to pick something different. Alright, and that's where you fill in that. Fill in your name. Period. Okay, I want capitals at the beginning of your sentence and a period at the end. And I don't want random capital letters in the middle. Okay? Then you're going to have, after your period, you're going to need another space. Alright, you can put a finger space if you want to. Alright, or maybe you're writing smaller than that and you don't need that big of a space. But certainly a finger space would be fine. Alright, you can say, I'm in Miss Dunton's class. Alright, you can also say I'm in 3rd grade in Miss Dunton's class. The people that you're writing to will know that you're in 3rd grade because they're also in 3rd grade. Alright, but if you want to include that, that's fine. And look how I wrote I'm. I wrote a capital I, an apostrophe, and then a lowercase m. So please make sure that you get that when you write I'm. I'm in Miss. And see how I skipped a line? That's very important so that we can read your letter very easily. I'm in Miss Dunton's class. And we're going to include a few things in our letter. Okay, we're going to say, first of all, my favorite. Okay, and look how I capitalized my again, because it's the beginning of my sentence. Okay, my favorite, Favorite, my favorite thing about school. That's going to be one of the things that you write about. And you can put it first or you can put it a little later. My favorite thing about school, SCHOOL, is, now you can write whatever you want there. Alright? Is, for example, mine is working with kids all day. Alright, that's my favorite thing. Working with kids all day. All day. And I'm so excited about that I'm going to put an exclamation point. Alright? Do you think you have to put an exclamation point at the end of that sentence? You don't. You don't, but you can choose to. Alright? Or you can just leave it as a period. One other thing I wanted to point out, do you see how I have an apostrophe S for Miss Dunton's class? That's because the class belongs to me, right? It belongs to Miss Dunton. So it's my class, so I have to put apostrophe S. So when you write Miss Dunton's class, you're going to want to put an apostrophe S too. Alright? And then, so we said your favorite thing about school. Next you're going to say, I like to, or my hobbies are. So we're going to talk about things you like to do. Alright, things you like to do. I'm going to make a new paragraph because I probably want to talk about a lot of things I like to do. And I want to make a whole little section about things I like to do. Okay? I have, and I'm just going to say it my way. You can say it however you want. I have lots of things. I have lots of things I like to do. I like to do. And I think I'll say lots of things I like to do in my free time. Maybe. In my free time. Okay, and I'm writing neatly so my friend can read it, and I'm putting capital I's. See how those I's are all capital? Okay, I didn't draw the top and the bottom on them, but you know, they're big and they're capital. Okay, so I like to read books, and I know you guys like to play video games, for example, work on the computer, and when I'm making a list, see how I'm using commas in between each thing? Work on the computer. Cook. I love to cook, but I don't have a lot of free time. Cook. And I'm gonna say I'm trying to decide if I want to say practice or play with technology. Learn more about technology. I think it's kind of play for me. So play with I'll say new technology. Play with new technology. Technology thing. Play with new technology things. You will have to decide how you want to say your stuff. But, so what I have so far. And notice how I'm going back to reread what I've written already. That helps me keep my ideas straight, because sometimes I forget what I'm doing. Alright? So, I like to read books, work on the computer, cook, and play with new technology. And then maybe I'll write in parentheses tech gadgets. Gadgets. Gadgets is a funny word. tech gadgets. And parentheses I use when I want to help clarify something, when I want my reader to understand a little bit better. Because if I say play with new technology, you might think, what in the world is she talking about? But if I say tech gadgets, you can imagine it's something little that I would hold in my hand and play with and try to figure something out with. Okay? But I don't think I need to clarify much further. And then I'm going to put a period because that's the end of my sentence. Look at all those commas I have in there, because I made a list. I like to read books, comma, work on the computer, comma, cook, comma, and play with new technology. Tech gadgets, period. Alright? And then maybe I forgot something, so I could say, I also like to go swimming. I also like to go swimming. Alright, so that's enough about me, because I wrote a lot of stuff about myself already. And hopefully the person that is reading it can get an idea of what I like to do. And I am glad I made that its own paragraph. Look how much space it took up. So when we think we're going to write a lot about something, we can make a paragraph out of it, so we can really focus it. Give me a thumbs up, a thumb sideways, or a thumbs down if that makes sense to you. Okay, I'm not seeing everyone's thumbs. If it doesn't make sense, put it down, or sideways or up. Okay, great, thank you. Alright, and then at the very end, I'm going to ask my new friend a question. Okay, I'm going to say, what do you like to do? And it can be any question, and you can ask more than one question. What do you like to do? Okay, now let me give you some examples of something else you might include. You might include your favorite food. Okay, you might say my favorite food is. You might include your favorite sports. My favorite sport is. You might include your favorite color. Okay, so you can ask, I talked about things that I like to do, but you can also talk about other things that you like. And you could also say, what do you like to do? You could say, what's your favorite food? What color do you like? What's your favorite animal? Alright, whatever it was that you talked about. A thumbs up, a thumb sideways, or a thumbs down if that makes sense, or not. Okay, thank you. Alright, and look at how I put a question mark on the end of my sentence. Probably you can guess that's because I was asking a question. Okay, that's exactly why I put a question mark there, right on the end, because I was asking a question. So in my letter, I have a lot of different punctuation marks, don't I? I have commas, I have slashes between my dates, okay, I have another comma, period, apostrophes, exclamation points, parentheses. When we write, these are the tools, the punctuation tools, that it would be great if you guys can learn to use better. Alright, so I'm trying to give you some examples of how I would use these tools. I guess I like it better zoomed out. And so, I'm not going to end my letter here though. Get back to my letter. What do you like to do? And maybe I'll say, please write soon, or something like that. And then I'm going to close it with, sincerely, or your friend. Maybe I'll write your friend, since that sounds friendly. Your friend. R-I-E-N-D. Your friend. And then if I had another line, I would probably skip a line and go down here, but I don't, so I'm just going to write it here. Jessica. Okay. And so I'm going to be asking you if there are any questions about how to write a friendly letter. Okay. How many of you get the basic idea of how to do this? Yeah, basic idea? Good. Okay. Alright, so anyway, this is how to write a friendly letter, and this is what I would like you to do right now. Thank you.